Capstan, a great player. Shantaras, right, we highly rate him to be one of the best aimers in the world when he's in form. We just have not seen that in big clans. So they have potential, they have skill, but they need to get it to click together, and they need it soon.
But you know, one thing about Keto is that he just recently had a role change since Godby came back to the big organization and started moving the pieces around, started trying to figure out exactly how to best utilize Xantares. Keto was one of the players that had a huge role change. Now he's much more of an entry. Now he's much more aggressive because he has to be. He has to find space for his Xantares, for his Pearson with that AWP. So I think he's still getting used to it, still getting into the groove of things, but it's still promising. But I guess that's what Jacob is alluding to, is we always say that about North, right? So we still see signs of hope, but it's few and far between.
Well, let's see what signs of hope Big are going to show us, because they are going to be getting fired up ready for this opening game, Des.
Uncanny. We have looked a lot of demos of Mad Lions. I think we're really prepared to play against them, and I think this match will go in our favor.
And it's a 5v5 retake. This is...
We had pretty good results the last couple of weeks. Only in the end that we had some losses against teams we shouldn't have lost against. But I think this can happen, especially online, now since we can't play on LAN against these teams.
He's been waiting over in mid, and this could be huge. First, second,
I think our team really likes to play on LAN. We kind of missed that, to be honest. But it's also no problem for us competing online against these teams. I think we're going against Mad Lions as a favorite into the game.
Now going is normally the thing you'd be saying about Big when they're going into matchups, right? But obviously since that change has come in, Tabson certainly learned the ropes when it came to it. But Mad Lions right now, I think the pressure is on them in this game, right? They should be looking for a pretty comfortable game.
They should, and they are the favorites, right? And I was just saying this to you, Banks, right? When I had Astillion as an in-game leader, and back then he was, to my understanding, he was not a great in-game leader. I gotta be honest, right? He was still so unproven, he was still so new. And I agree with what Christine said before, that you can see that he's been better, right? He's good at visualizing stuff, he's good at making the team believe in what he's doing, and he's a capable player individually as well of taking over a game, or at least be a somewhat decent player. Now for Mad Lions, Vertigo right now is the most random map within the map pool, right? It's one of the maps that is still so new that if a team finds just one gimmicky play that works out and the other team can't count it, you can win an entire map just by knowing one thing the other team does not, since it's such a brand new map. So the fact that we have that one as a third and deciding map between two teams who have not played a lot of efficient games on it is to me very interesting. That being said though, if I'm Big Clan, I'm not really satisfied with this video, right? Mirage and Nuke against Mad Lions, that's a tough one.
The Mirage especially is concerning for me because it's not exactly the most...
Wasting time and got eternity. Breathing life into something new. I've been treading the same road, but this is my time, high time. My mind took all I had to give. Stolen time.
back, and it's time to get into our opening game here between Mad Lions and Big Clan. And these two going head-to-head, we discussed it before the break. It could be quite a tight one depending on which Big shows up. They've had some great results, they've had some bad results, but it's the Mad Lions that will be feeling the pressure as the more favoured team in this. And for you guys, right, we saw the video, we've had some time to digest it all going down. That Mirage coming in, I'm still concerned because I just feel like for Mad Lions, that's a comfortable one either way.
I think so too. I mean, I think Christine raised a very valid concern, you know, whether Mad Lions are a little bit rusty or not, the fact that they haven't played an official game for quite some time. I agree with that. That can be a factor here, but I also, you know, look at Mad Lions and I look at the confidence Asilian is showing in that interview, saying that we've been practicing hard. Every single top team right now is complaining about the fact that, we don't have time to practice. We want to practice more. Mad Lions, they've actually had that time to practice. So let's see how that works out. Maybe that's the better route to go. And if that is, well, they should be owning Big Clan today.
I'm also very actually confident in Big's decisions here. I mean, as you mentioned, James, Mad Lions, they love Mirage. In fact, Mirage was their go-to map pick for all of 2020. So if Big are willing to say, hey, anything you can do, I can do better, and go ahead and pick it first in this series, that shows confidence, that shows preparation. And it's really just a matter of connecting the headshots at the end of the day with your game plan to make it work. So can Big do that? That's the biggest question that's been hanging over their heads for all of 2020. And at least they're feeling confident coming into this series.
They may be feeling confident, but they're going to have to prove it on the server like you were saying. And I want to see what Twitch chat have got for us, where they're going with this one. Which way are we going to side? And oh my lord, 77%
wow.
for Big. We just got everyone from Germany right now currently sat in Twitch chat, and Denmark just gave up on Mad Lions despite them. What did you say, Pimp? They're the second best Danish team right now, yeah?
I mean, you know, I'd say so. I'd say so. Maybe not after today. Let's wait and see. But yeah.
You want to see this game come down first?
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
That's surprising. So, okay, maybe some people have been seeing Big online and thinking, do you know what, they're making improvements. Potter, you made a good point that they can play well against some of the best teams, but then they can drop off as well. But I think the thing they've got to do is kind of shut down the likes of Bubsky and Shush coming in here, because they're the people that love having a field day on a map like Mirage in the opening game.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Bubsky, he's all about that whole W religion. He loves to get in your face, and he's so savvy towards that connector on T side of things on Mirage. So I'm excited to see this one play out.
Well, it's time as well to remind everyone at home that you could head to DreamHackPick'em.com to make your own predictions on this before we make ours. And admittedly, when we did start making ours, especially on the North American side of things, we were heavy on Liquid and we paid the price for that. So maybe our choices are not the best when it comes to this one. But Potter, I want to start with you. Which way do you think this series is going to go and why?
I've got to go with Mad Lions here. If they're in form like they should be, like they were a month ago, I mean, surely they're going to win this series out. But I love the confidence coming at a Big. As I mentioned, that Mirage pick, that's a spanner. That's a curveball. I'm loving it.
Pimp, what are we saying? Where are we going? You sticking with your Danes?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't ever want to pick Danes, right? Because I'll just be, man, you're so biased, man. I don't even like Mad Lions, you know. It is what it is. But looking at these two teams, you know, having Big going up against Mad Lions, there's no doubt in my mind that Mad Lions is going to absolutely destroy Big. I think the practice they've had leading up to this tournament is a very good thing for them. All the top teams, as I said before, they want more practice time. Now, Mad Lions, they've actually had the time to put that practice into place. So let's see how that's going to unfold. Big Clan, as you said, James, have been super, super inconsistent. Unless Tapsons has one of those games, or Shantaris has one of those games where he just goes completely off, I think Mad Lions is too strong. That being said, though, I would love Big Clan to win, because I would love, just as I would love with North, that some of these star players actually show the true potential. So let's have a close game, let's have a good game, but I'm afraid it's going to be a one-sided story for Mad Lions.
See, I think it's going to be pretty much in Mad Lions' favour unless Big can grab Mirage. And I'd still go for Mad Lions in a series. So I'm going to have to agree with you guys on that and how it all goes down. But I think the main thing is looking forward to getting into this game for sure, because it's been some time we had to wait for all of this to go down. And I think the next thing we've got to do is bring in our amazing commentators. We've got Scrawny and Launders standing by. So Potter and Pimp, thank you very much. Enjoy the games, because it's time for us to bring the Canadians back into the frame. And do you agree with our analyst here?
Yeah. James, I thought you were going to say amazing commentator and Launders or something. Or is he today?
I'm being nice, right? Because he's only a little kid over here, you know. I don't want to completely shadow his dreams, this little skinny man. I know you have to carry him on such a big basis here, Launders. So
I was talking about Santa last week, and he's like, "What? Santa doesn't exist?" And I was like, "Oh, dude,
these guys, man. You're lucky there's an ocean between
with this
us.
series, the only thing that I'll say first of all, I really like the comparison between Big and North. I think that's kind of cool because, you know, the talents there, Xanteris, 1 in a million player on the team, but the roster doesn't work out. Tabson, best player in Germany, but the roster doesn't work. But with this roster, the only thing is that because Mad Lions haven't played an official, I'll say there's upset potential. Because, you know, Big Clan are really good in, like, they're inconsistent, but they're really good in these individual best of threes. So I think their upset potential is very high. And then you couple that with the fact that the other team hasn't played an official in a month. I think there's maybe a chance that Big could take it.
Well, I don't want to hear from Connor anyway, so I'm going to let you guys just get on with it, and I'll see you guys later. Let's bring on the game.
Yeah, well, you know what, James? Listen here, man. It's not your choice. You're going to have to listen to me for the next hour and a half or so on anyways. So who wins that one? I think it's us. Launders, listen, Mad Lions, we haven't seen them for a while, but I do have high praise for these guys. They looked excellent in Flashpoint, one of the biggest wins of their careers. They've been riding the high, and as long as they can take that success on LAN, which, remember, was only created because they had already had this streak of successful runs through online qualifiers and cups, getting them into the DreamHack Open circuit, getting that LAN experience, and ultimately showing more than ever before. So, can Big handle it? I think so. I definitely do not want to write off the likes of Xanteris and Tabson, but the reason for that is because we did that exact same problem in DreamHack Leipzig at the very start of 2020, and Big came out of nowhere to take the entire event. So I think this is one of those matches we've really just got to let the players speak for themselves, and they will do so here in the pistol. We've got Roy to the top of middle, sees a couple players, peels back.
That is just the kind of team they are, as you're characterizing it. Obviously, DreamHack Leipzig champions. We saw it in person. They have the abilities. You just don't know which days they're going to be playing well on. Bubsky, nice 2K here. Even though Xanteris gets one, they've got window room control, and there's still a lot of presence from the T's at mid, as well as a bomb dropped in isolation up here at the top of mid on the left side. They'll have to go and recollect that before even attempting anything else.
And recollecting that bomb, that's going to completely reset what they had originally thrown forward with the pistol. Underground completely forfeited. Tizian does get bomb back, so at least for Big, Mad Lions have conceded that control. And I don't mind it. You get bomb down and you think you have to prioritize playing on top of it. But in reality, a 4v3, holding your sights, still utility and a kit to play. This is a great spot for Mad Lions to just let Big make their move.
Another chance for Bubsky to rack on some more pistol kills here. Sitting over in the van, Asilian's going to spot his cross, take attention away from his opponents as they cross, and potentially will run into him. Will the rotates come out? They actually pull the cat player a bit, but it seems like they're clear that it's a fake already.
Yeah, now it's just a matter of taking down Xanteris and Tizian. Can sometimes be easier said than done, but it's done. Mad Lions using Bubsky from that back corner. He gets himself 4 USPS headshots in the pistol. And if you want to praise the individuals of Xanteris and Tabson, then you also have to counter that with Bubsky. This is a young Danish player who has shown great promise and I think really is shining inside of this 5-man roster particularly.
Yeah, he's definitely had a very consistently high rating, and since in the past few months, in the past year really, it's just kind of stayed up. And so we are obviously expecting a lot from Mr. Bubsky here.
Yeah, a young player. He's very fine-tuned with the memes, men. He's an HLTV lurker.
He was more than Crash Talk, which is awesome.
Yeah. This scares me, though. Tizian, he kicks it off with a deagle, and then you look across what they have, of course, and there are 4 more deags in play. Big, one of those heavy-handed teams when it comes to the cannon pistols. But here's Roy finding a great angle over top of the smoke. You know, he had the room to work with, and he made sure to make the most of it. Saw the chance, but hold on. There are way too many casualties stacking up versus Mad Lions here. Still, Shush, he's going to go for the mid-peak, and Xanteris. 2 health is what makes the difference. A-Core has to clutch this. They don't have bomb control. There's only 40 seconds, and God forbid, look at their health.
Yeah, this is an interesting puzzle. A-Core, he might know where the bomb is and has to come. Oh, they waited him out. Xanteris, dude. I can't believe he got that last kill. But, I mean besides that one, you know, it's just a brain gamer. He holds the angle. He knows they're going to come into window. The one before, I mean... Oh, Shush.
Yep. The thing with Shush's peak, too, is, again, the HP is low, and he does land 1 bullet, but that's 1 bullet from what was probably 10 out of the MP5. The silenced SMG lets him down, and Mad Lions whimper through the second round, giving it up to Big and letting them transition with control. And they've even got themselves an M4.
Maybe it's the online jitters. Okay, have only played scrims. Maybe they are a bit shaky. There's always a difference, a step up between the scrims, the matches, whether it's online or LAN, and then online versus LAN. Every single one, you know. I think there's always something to be said about just not having played the matches. That makes it feel a little bit different when you finally lock into the server.
Also to note,
thousands of fans watching.
Of course, great Deagle play, but Xanteris did pop both of those heads in the exact same location. Mirrored peaks between the last two members of Mad Lions.
Yeah, it was really smart for Xanteris to wait there. They could have gone to go up on Cat. Looks like here's an attack towards the A site. They've got the wall smokes for the rotators, one in jungle, one for CT spawn, and Tizian really makes this a lot more viable. Yeah, that's the only point of attack, really. Tizian's handling everything from within connector.
Oh, another one gets past this time. Roy, good little bit more damage versus Keto, but he dies in the end. So that's Big converting, doing what Mad Lions couldn't at the start of Mirage.
Yeah, and they did it very, very cleanly. That was nice. I actually love that A attack. I mean, the smokes they're simple. There's only two of them, and once you come up a connector, we saw Tizian covering everything else that you had to worry about from a very good kind of long-range angle, headshot angle. So everything you want versus pistols.
Many bodies here for Mad Lions. A pack of them trying to push up middle. Just those USPs to play, but hell, they get a couple of kills, and you can't be too upset about that. There was room for them to nab another two. Tabson and Searson both low HP, but that round comes to a quick close. Big 3-1 as we find Mad Lions in with their first rifle buy. And of course, there's an op on A-Core.
With just USPs, that obviously could have been worse, so it's definitely not such a bad round to look back on. This will be cool to see A-Core on the op. We'll see where he goes with it. Off into B, and I think it's actually an upper B hold for the meantime. Don't know if he will be pushing through the smoke. Ooh, that scope is hurt. Tizian, he had a chance there. I think it was a smart push for Tizian to make. A-Core was not prepared for that close angle, but hit a great flick to get him out of dodge.
Agree with every decision, and then praise the beauty of that minute little flick shot. It's a big opening for A-Core. Now Searson, he's going to get dinked off Cat. But still anticipates Roy coming out from that corner. And honestly, Roy had to make a play. There was somebody peeking him from the top of the staircase and also Khan under pressure. There is a CT back behind Ticket as well as the Opper down ramp. But that bomb will most certainly be planted because Keto lays down flashbangs to try and create that temporary cover. Doesn't keep him alive, however, for Mad Lions. And they've got this one split. 2 towards CT, 2 in from jungle. They wait just a moment so that, of course, Xanteris and Co can try and make a play, try to cut down some bodies, but they find nothing more. Big, they'll find their plant, and that's that.
It's always good to have a little bit of patience. That 4v2, 2 players out in the open, they get a bit more desperate as the clock ticks down and all the CTs close off on all the easy angles. They know they need to make something happen, and that's when you can put them in an even worse position than when they started in transition between 2 aggressive peaks. So Mad Lions picked that up with a good bit of patience. A nice retake on A. And it all starts off with this great flick from A-Core. It seemed like some kind of handshake agreement there with the smoke. Tizian seeing it drop, but realizing it wasn't amazing, and then playing it patiently, listening for the scope, getting rewarded, but then not hitting the spray.
However, AWP to try and counter that scene in the apartment. Searson posts up early. Flashbang forces him to reveal himself. And A-Core is going to look to gather some information off of that. They see the presence inside of apartments. He clears underpass, notes that it's entirely open, and decides to peek top mid. But, oh, there's an op lying in wait. Searson, he'll find the 5v4 this round.
And, you know, this very important weapon is stranded at mid. So a lot of emphasis from Big Clan on mid. Don't expect them to loosen their grip because they can stay over this gun, hold on to a very important part of the map, and maybe work on connector, which they've been doing really well.
Yeah, that connector, which will completely expose the two CTs defending inside of the A site. Zenteras, though, a little bit of missed timing costs him his life on Palace. Shush is going to use the smoke to give him more cover to play. He gets over to the site itself, still trying to dance around these boxes, but there's a player right behind him. And so no surprise to see he dies. It's kills across the feed. Back and forth we go. It's almost instantaneous, but Big still pick up the round.
Kind of love that he comes through that just as the unscope comes in, and yeah, at least they win, because that's what's important. Once again, patience pays off. Yeah, they use the exact same kind of anti-eco strat with the smoke into connector. Don't know if they threw one CT this round. They had Zenteras as well lining something up in the Palace. Don't know where that was going to go off to. Maybe the stairs to make it look like an A-ramp pressure attack, but it was actually Big to focus on mid more than anything else. And I don't see a reason why they should stop going back to it, especially this round, considering they're going up against pistols. Especially.
Zenteras again, just chilling up in apps, doing his own thing towards Palace. 4 players stack in A. Now, I've appreciated the anti-eco strategy, the one you highlighted with the connector control. Although Mad Lions have kind of predicted this, and at least get numbers in position. And also, more importantly, they find that ramp open. So they've got a set of eyes down it already. Roy's going to stay tucked, and Big, a little bit of misdirection. Smoke to the top of connector indicates that they will head catwalk instead. So circumventing what was the pistol stack, Zenteras tries to lurk out and loses his head, but at least that's not the bomb coming in tow. No, they'll go towards B. And there is still a defender. That's Bubsky, back by bench, hiding and buying time. Tabson's not doing this quietly, but okay, he finds him.
I was gonna say, who would you rather have? But yeah, still, Tabson is probably the best bet to try to win the duel, if anything. So looks like the retake is definitely on. We do have Shush with the AK, looking for fights and finding a kill. There's also a big flank in play. Don't want to get too excited.
Keto committed to the corner. Easy pick up, back up for him. Asilian, last man left, and nowhere near this bomb site. So Big, again, just using these anti-ecos and not forcing the issue, not playing to an uncomfortable pace, not walking into the minefield and being caught by surprise. No, sir. They calculate, adjust, and execute. And it all works out well. Again, I feel like Bubsky is really the only player who had any real chance at any moment. And poor guy gets ripped apart, just like Asilian will towards the end of the round. So 3 survivors for Big, 3-round lead for Big. Score, 5-2.
5-2. I think Big looks sharp. I think Mad Lions actually look quite sharp. I haven't seen a bad spray this game, I don't think. It feels like everybody is extremely well drilled, well oiled at the moment, looking sharp, not wasting too many bullets, and that's making it difficult for Mad Lions to hold on to the sites. The trades are here for Big. The opening kills are here for Big. Sometimes their patience is what wins them the round, which is the most impressive way to win. And Mad Lions, they want to try to go for mid control again. They've tried this on the anti-eco. They tried this with an AWP by itself. It didn't work out, so they're probably a little bit scared.
Asilian should be. He's getting flashed, peppered by those utilities, and Tizian makes the most of it. Moves forward, gets the flash assist with Zenteras. Tizian's going to try to go for the smoke spam and dies to Roy. So that's an interesting pickup. Suddenly puts this hold in question. Zenteras is trying to find them close smoke, trying to play that audio. Doesn't work for him. He dies first. Keto can trade him, sure enough, but Searson's here from the window to cut off that cat push. So the entirety of this falls on Searson, and he walks into the scope. Doesn't know A-Core's posted on him. Mad Lions make this retake happen. And I feel like it really does help that Roy gets a kill through smoke to kick it off.
What do you make of this execute? Because I thought that, they held 2 people at mid, which is one of the CAD players, by sacrificing a single player, and then pulled off this B exec, which completely isolated someone in the site and got a kill off for free. So to me, it looked like Big had a very smart round, but made a small sacrifice at the beginning.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think that if they, wanted to really hammer it home, then the only thing we would have loved to have seen is some kind of maybe mid lurk or something to slow down Roy from getting up into Cat so that maybe they could leave the site and get off of those very predictable angles that he sprayed. But regardless, k1to 2K, big one to start off this round. Searson missing an op shot as Bubsky, or was that a leg?
No, he missed.
Okay, Bubsky loses health in one way or another.
Yeah, Bubsky was low and then he missed.
I'm not shocked that Searson's surprised by that. Bubsky seems to come out of nowhere, just fleeing for his life. This is going to transition big with a man advantage, although very low health, over towards this B site. And seeing as they have low HP, I would rather them use this utility on the execution as opposed to try and hold it for a post plant. They've definitely got the flashbangs to try and make Asilian uncomfortable. That's exactly what they did last round, and it worked wonders, at least in getting the bomb planted.
They might not. I don't know. If they use utility, there's still 2 Molotovs here for Mad Lions. So if they throw too much, then they could get completely shut down. They don't have health to run through the fire.
Well, they go ahead and throw out both the Molotovs. The incendiary grenade is in response. Bubsky's rotate with another piece of fire is not going to help. Cuts off the tail end. They're going to have to smoke this out. And sure enough, they start walking into a brick wall. This B site holding strong and convincing them to head elsewhere. They've lost the bomb out the window. I mean, it goes from bad to worse. And understandably, Mad Lion's going to pick up this round. So a 4th for the Danes.
Yeah, 2 players that are one-hittable get away. A small victory. The op is retained, which is really important for Big. But yeah, it's difficult to try to walk out B that late in the round. You don't want to see the CTs have 2 incendiaries left over, but Big couldn't draw them out, and it was smart for Mad Lions to just hold on to them for as long as they did. Once again, it's this kind of gambit into mid from the CTs, and I think it makes sense they're not respecting Big to come out for mid control in a very standard way, because Big are doing a great job of winning rounds with mid control, but the CTs are always putting the entire round at risk in the first 20 seconds with this push up. So it can get risky, and Big, I think if they play it a bit more passively and work on mid slowly, it's going to get scarier for Mad Lions to be standing out there. But this time around, there's no push from the CTs, and Big do come at it a bit slower. Now that they have top boxes control and the underpass crunch, they'll soon find out there's nobody here watching. What's interesting is, though, Mad Lions lack an insane amount of information at the moment because no one's watching window. So that means someone could have boosted in. Nobody's in jungle, and nobody's watching connector, and no one's back CT watching the window push from connector. So hopefully they didn't bust open the window great. I'm assuming that's what they did to make sure they can't flank that way. But they're still, in a very passive setup.
And the server, I'll check. It is broken, so that route you're mentioning is entirely open.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have done that. We'll see if it comes back to pay off, or rather cost them. Paying off for Big, perhaps, but nope. They don't throw anybody through the murder hole. Instead, they're just going to try and bombard their way into B. Bubsky, 2 kills, crucial, but he then fumbles. Loses to the sheer aggression of the players and apps. 3v3 health advantage, and the bomb is down for Big. Mad Lions, how are you going to make this retake happen? Well, it seems like it's going to be entirely focused on market. k1to's back by bench. Oh, damn. That grenade's going to soften him up. He is now ripe for the taking. Has to dodge the Molotov, so he's very much pinned into the corner. Searson's off down arch. Misses the first shot. Acor's going to punish him for that one. k1to low HP, no problem. 3 kills from the back of bench. Fantastic.
Very well done by k1to. Great nade usage there, too. Even though he eats the first H, he drops the smoke to shun off that choke point, and they need to come through it. An awesome spray down here from Bubsky on the hold. But the reason that the last remaining CTs are so late is because in this full passive setup, the closest player to the B site was in CT spawn, and the other 2 players are A ramp. So even if they run the entire way, it's going to take them some time. And plus, they don't know if anybody's sitting in the window.
That's a grueling task. And a big ask to have them go for that. Cillian, 1 kill, 2 kills. Using it with that MAC-10. I mean, listen, Mad Lions came into this round with lackluster weaponry, but my God, are they making it work. Searson's op peels one off of the bomb site, and he feels comfortable and confident enough to drop with it. But Roy, oh Roy, he's coming in from behind enemy lines. He's got 1T jumping back from Arch. He actually eats a flashbang, although it helps that Acor has found a kill. Searson, 1, and back into the cover, but Shush does not lose any time coming up catwalk, and that is why Mad Lions have taken another round. One that they honestly have no business winning.
Yeah, I mean, there's another B-side take, kind of like straight up. I wonder why Big weren't playing as slow like they normally were to the top mid control, but you know, Mad Lions, I mean, they all basically had to contribute and each help out with the kill. Sorry, I just wanted to know, do you have the game open?
Yes, I do. What would you like to know?
I would like to know what they're talking about.
I have voice disabled.
No, I heard the chat.
Oh, let me take a little gander for you.
Maybe, unless I'm crazy. Beast on a budget. All of Xantares' kills so far have come with pistols. It's round 12. Pistols.
Oh, I know what they said.
What'd they say?
They asked for a pause.
Oh, that's not that exciting.
No, it's not. It's not. You got my hopes up, man.
I'll
forgive you, though.
Okay.
Don't you worry. Searson Scout, see if that's forgiving. He's got Acor on the other side, ready to receive with the AWP. I was wondering if that little bit of timing created by throwing the Molotov was going to be when we saw the Scout come, but it's going to get
Does he hit it?
thrown.
Oh.
And he's not scoped. Now he knows, of course, that the boxes have been compromised, so going for this peek becomes a little more deadly. Both players landing their shots.
This was kind of sick, though, because he was aiming low. And he just whipped
hit
up.
him high.
Yeah. My leg?
Tizian's patience could very well pay off here, but they're actually going to try to complicate it by boosting a man on Cat. No, they don't. They were trying to.
Yeah, they gave up the bricks boost. Not sure why. But now the CTs proceed as, yeah. Big have now picked A. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Comes out a little delayed here. Searson commits to it. Maybe just trying to let Mad Lions relax a little more than they should. Distraction from Cap comes in perfectly. Connector turns the head of the scope. Roy from beneath the palace. Good for 2. Tizian's going to shoot him through the wood. But the op shot from Acor connects yet again, this time to the head of Keto. And Tizian, who's been patient from the get-go, is still in this one. 10 seconds, however. That's what's ultimately going to lose him the round. At this point, Acor can just stay tucked, and everybody knows this one's over. So we are tied, folks. 6 rounds apiece. Mad Lions kind of just letting the clock run dry versus Big, and hanging on as they tried to split A.
Hey, it's an objective-based game. If you can do that, you'll take the win, of course. You know, Big are going to try to get the bomb plant. Mad Lions are going to try to starve them out of map control or the ability to move forward, and sometimes that wins you the round. That's totally legitimate. On this round, 4 players from Big die in front of A ramp and under in front of Palace as well, but they didn't have the best guns. They just had a couple of rifles. So now, did they actually wait, sorry, did they have a full buy last round? I thought they only had a couple of guns.
Yeah, just a few.
Okay, it must have forced up some pistols behind it or something like that, because they just don't have any money still.
Ooh, Roy. Only 1 this time around, and down goes the gun. But the Colts have been picked back up. Bumsky doesn't give up. He just blows them away through smoke. And that's that, folks. Mad Lions in the lead. I've gotten it back since the pistol.
No flubski by Bubsky. Okay.
Look at this second one. Doink.
Wow. That's how you envision that peak to go every time you make it, but it usually doesn't. It usually doesn't go that way. So I am a bit confused about the economy with that previous round, because they're still kind of low for having saved twice if they did. So I'm assuming that they had bought armor with the rifles, the 2 rifles of the Scout and the AK that they had, and pretty much spent all they had. Oh, they're in a bit of a
German sex dungeon?
Bit of a dungeon here. I mean, this is that's what my gaming headquarters would look like. I wouldn't have any windows. I would hate, I hate daylight or sunlight because it can like put glare on your screen. These are things that nerds care about that are very important. So I'd like to control the temperature in the room, the lights in the room, the activities in the room.
Ooh. Kicking it off early. Bubsky just extending out from Cat. He's having a hell of a game. 15 frags for him. 14 rounds deep. And Acor. A little patience there, but slight readjustment on the scope will net him a second kill for Mad Lions. So they're already comfortably positioned in the 5 versus 3. Let's see if Tizian can disrupt this. He has slipped past on Cat. Ooh, and there was his chance, but he's found out by Roy. So that's a kill apiece for 3 of the members of Mad Lions, and I think the desperation of the rounds starts to sink in. Maybe they find a little bit of timing here at the B site.
Yeah, they'd have to get a bit lucky. Once again, though, it's just like, what is going on with the economy? This is what I just don't understand now.
Trying to pressure the SMG inside of smoke, and Roy gives great cover. So making mincemeat of that one and pushing us to the final round of the first half.
Am I crazy, or have they just like not properly bought in 3 rounds?
There was one round back where I know exactly. I know the round that
Do you know what I'm
kind
saying?
of got you a little confused. Yeah. I think they went in a bit. They had like a couple sets of Kevlar. There was Deagles again. There was some smoke pieces in it. So yeah, I think they kind of lost out on the trimmings because of that decision. But you're not entirely insane.
Okay, just kind of, right? But not that.
Just a little bit. Right. Yeah.
All right,
we're
well,
both batshit crazy.
It could be both. Well, here we're in the last round now. Everybody's got the guns they need. Still, like questionable utility for Big for whatever reason, but at least they've got the AKs. Tapson a little bit low. Top Valk, not a bad spot here. Flash gonna make a move. Smoke comes down, put him out of position. Tizian, great spray down. Amazing entries to get in, handling both players trying to support each other.
Yep, excellently done. Just really cutting through both those CTs and kind of almost dividing it into separate 1 versus 1s, even though they were prepared for the hit. Worked out wonderfully. Looking like Big's going to close this close as can be. Let's see if they can hang on to the retake attempt. The 4th retake attempt here for Mad Lions. Sicilian finally getting onto the kill feed for them, but hold your horses. We are all of a sudden back into the 2 versus 2. There's a couple of smokes for Mad Lions to still play with, so nullifying Palace is huge. Searson has to come up big, but somebody's sticking the stick. No way! Oh, insult to injury. Ladies and gents, let that one sink in and enjoy your break, because we'll be back with the second half in just a moment. 6-9 the score at the end of that first half, folks. Mad Lions with a bit of a robbery in the last round, sticking the defuse, and arguably a robbery of the half. 8 of the last rounds, they managed to pick up 7. So Big came to a sprinting start and then a grinding halt.
Yeah. They tripped on the hurdle, got their foot caught on it, landed on their knees.
Yeah, really quapped it.
Quapped it hard, yeah.
Let's see if they can get into this A site. They should. I mean, it's open for the taking. Defense in the form of 2 players in jungle. CT completely forfeited, other than Zentera's just keeping eyes up at a distance. But this will enable them to throw numbers at the ramp as they come in for the retake. The good old 10-man retake.
They're slow. They're a little bit slow. This is one of the rounds where the time can actually run out on the bomb if you're not quick to CT spawn, but they need to be grouped and do it safely for sure. So prioritized it. Flashes are trying to be timed. That's a great attack by Big. They're just going to
stampede in. They're going to go ahead and smoke off the bomb. Astillion trying to hang on if he can. They're already defusing despite him still being right there. No respect given from Big in the retake. Excellently timed flashbangs on ramp. Keto picking up crucial kills.
You can see with the man advantage, the amount of options that come up there. First of all, you're way more confident. All your bros are still alive, so you run into the site. Plus, you know you can throw someone on the bomb and stick it. So there's no worse feeling than knowing you could have had 5 seconds with the bomb where you just defused and no one could have stopped you if you had enough teammates covering as distractions. And if you don't get on it and your teammates die, then no longer have that option. So once again, you know, getting the 5v3 right away is the most important part. And we see that meta of that kind of plant be those kills in CT spawn and who times the flash better. And I say better, but it's really hard to quantify what better means. It's kind of when does your CT guy feel like they're going to come around the corner? That's when you want to throw the flashbang for it to be the most effective, but not a second earlier or a second later, because you're going to get flashed like he did.
Speaking of getting flashed, Keto.
My eyes are up here. A-Core has a sub 30% headshot rate in the last 12 months, but over half of his kills in that time have been with the op.
It's a good way to cover up his bad aim.
That just to invalidate the stat though? Like, isn't that okay now that since he has?
Yes.
So is that just to say that he has a lot of op kills?
Yes.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to talk about Keto getting headshots while flashed on ramp, and the fact that, you know, we kind of painted him as being a crucial piece to Big's success today, and he is at the top of the scoreboard. So the entries have worked well for Big. And in that case, the retake too. But here comes Astillion deep CT, gunning down the counter-terrorists. Searson doubles back around the ramp. Bombs planted on the A site. I kind of missed this round, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
How does Astillion just wreck the whole team? Man's got 3 frags and he's still going.
Praise to press W.
And what's wild too is, like, look at the map, everybody. Those X's marking the CT's deaths are all over the place, but yet they're all Astillion's kills.
That's true, yeah. Some form of instant transmission by Astillion to kill so many players so quickly.
Doesn't seem like really, he'll get another one unless Tizian sticks around. Smokes the temporary barrier between them.
He very much juggernauted it. I had someone tweet at me and say it's because Big saved so many times on the T side without bomb plants. But despite that, there's no reason why you'd need to save or miss by 3 rounds in a row or 4 rounds in a row. But in that time, you know, before that happened, that weird... I've really never seen someone mess up the economy like Big did in this first half. I feel like I haven't seen anybody else do it. But before that happened, Big looked like a super solid team in this game. And then during those 4 rounds, Mad Lion not only pulled ahead, but then started to look more sharp, more confident, and just closed the half so after kind of having a really rough start. So I think, you know, there's a point there where I feel like it's the economy that played a big factor in the score that we're seeing now, which usually isn't the main talking point anymore.
I think that it's that economy hiccup coupled with Mad Lions shaking off the official rust. You know, that was a talking point we had with the analysts, whether or not we would see Mad Lions bounce into form really quickly. But I think that when just a month ago you win $500,000, you're not some rickety, rusty old war machine. You're shiny and flashy and new, and they are looking good in this round, particularly too. Just cutting through that B defense, finding duels. Bubsky had crept up all the way to the windowsill. Pops Market gets the job done. This is going to be the 11th for Mad Lions. So other than the strong start from Big at the beginning of their T side, this has very much transitioned into the Mad Lions show.
Xantares has 6 kills now, as opposed to the 4 when we first had Elliot bring up the stat about those only being pistol kills. I wonder if that's changed. Xantares is a real enigma because he truly is like one of the most mechanically skilled players to ever touch the game, and also not a dumb guy either. You know, he's not a one-dimensional player, I think. But and when he joined Big, it really seemed like Big were going to be the talk of the town, like top 8 potential, something very consistent. Him and Tabson, these were amazing players. And they did win Leipzig this year, so that's cool. But just so much inconsistency, and even Searson, man.
Watching Xantares leave Space Soldiers and join Big kind of felt like when we finally saw Nico leave Mouse Sports and have a better chance.
Right.
You know, like
I think that's
it's like a
very
god
apt
has
example.
been unleashed, and well, here we are, 11-7.
Yeah.
And this is no longer a new roster. You know, it's been some time. I mean, at least his involvement with it. But Bubsky clears his corner, and there comes Acor combining with the cat pinch. So just dismantling the B site yet again, very easily versus the poorly armed opponents. Of course, there was a couple rifles for Big in the mix, and now you see them on the kill feed. Keto and Tabson yet again, cutting it down to the 1v2. If only Searson had been a little bit closer, then maybe he could go for this clutch. It'd be a wild one, but they didn't have much to lose. And so it still goes the way of Mad Lions.
They pick a good site. They avoid the majority of the rifles. Tabson comes in for a nice couple of consolation deagle kills. But Searson, is too far away from the action to try to take part. So looks like Acor, Roy will save. Bomb explodes. Mad Lions at 12. Getting close to tripping distance.
Boom. I like that one. Tabson just Bubsky,
dude,
get out of the hidey hole, man.
Best part about Tabson too, he's like, I feel like I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about him. You know, on top of him being the best player in Germany and like the star player and everything.
Very true.
Only heard
Friendly
nothing
guy.
but praise about him as a teammate. Yeah.
See if the buy will make the difference. 5-round deficit here for Big to try and climb against. Mad Lions have been looking good on the T side, but have yet to been tested. So let's see if things get shaken up. Remember how the first 15 were favoring the T's at the very start, too.
It's true. They had their eyes set on B for just a second, but it looks like they're going to remass. Hold down mid. They haven't taken too much map control just yet. Mad Lions haven't posed a threat to make them think that they can push something, so not surprised to see them play passively. They've still got good enough eyes on mid with this cat and connector player working together, so they don't have to be specifically worried about the window jump or anything that